Sorry,
That's good.
my hair. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the newest episode of Sadie and Shawn Have No Friends, brought to you by the folks at Talent Co Real Estate. Go to homeandnoco.com. That's homeandnoco.com. Shawn, how are you today?
I'm good. I missed you yesterday. It was the first time that we ever did anything without one another, what podcast wise.
I
How'd
know
that go? I didn't
it
listen.
it felt weird. It was only 20 minutes, and it was hard because I'm like, what do I tell? I did give like a 6 month update because we're at about 6 months of doing this now.
What
And
was your
so,
update?
well, I don't even remember what I said. Actually, what did I say? I said 6 months. Oh, I said that we're starting a new feature this week, which we are.
Oh, good to
And
know.
yeah, I told you about this.
Oh, that's right. You did.
Yeah. Okay. So we're starting a new feature this week, and we'll be talking about that a little bit later. How was your weekend? You
I
what?
have one more thing about yesterday before we get into that about your thing,
Okay.
because I did have a guy hit me up. Travis, who's a loyal listener to the podcast, hit me up this morning and said something about me wearing Shannon's underwear.
I didn't say anything about that.
That's what he said. And
He
it
said
came
I
from,
said you were your
I
wife's
don't,
underwear.
something along those lines, or her pants or something.
I don't think I'm pretty sure in the 20 minutes I talked, I did not bring up the fact that you wear your woman's underpants.
Hold on.
Is that something you would like to bring up?
Did you really wear Shannon's shorts in public? Is what he said.
Well, that's because in the one episode where you stood up, you said that. You said they look like lady
Oh,
shorts.
they do look, but that's how we do it now. That's the style, and I'm still stylish. I'm sorry that Travis isn't, and he has to make fun of me for things like that. But
Travis,
I follow the trends of fashion, and right now it's
Travis,
short shorts.
don't let him lash out at you. Don't let that hurt you because he does it to me at least 42 times a session where he just, I'm sorry if you're not very cool, but I am. But I did not say anything about your chicken legs, and that's good.
They're getting bigger. That's why.
Hey, tell me about your weekend because Shay
Oh
turned
yeah,
16. That's a big deal.
it's crazy. You know how it feels. It just makes you, being selfish for a minute, it kind of makes you feel old yourself. Like I truly don't feel like I'm old enough to have a 16-year-old. I'm still like stuck in like mid-20s
I
mindset
know. I
and not
know.
mid-30s mindset. And we started, Shannon and I obviously started really young having babies. And so yeah, having 16-year-olds, it's crazy. But it was good. So the festivities, her birthday was on Sunday of this last week, and Sunday, which almost caused me to get disowned by my family, was also one of two nights that I'm required to work at the radio station because we do two radio station concerts, and
Yeah.
that happened to be one of them this year. Was right on Shay's 16th birthday. I still
So you
fondly
had to like
remember.
hustle, right? To
Well,
make it
no,
good.
no, because it's an all day thing. It's a festival. There's 6 artists on it. You have to help set up. It's a full day thing. And so I fondly remember the conversation I had with Shannon 6 months ago when this show got booked, and I was like, "You're not gonna like this, but guess what? We
Yeah.
booked it." We call it birthday bash. We booked birthday bash literally on Shay's 16th birthday, which was on a Sunday. You would never think that you would even have to worry about it, but that's when it worked out. So I had to smooth some things over there. But the good news was we could throw a party. Most people are going to want to have a birthday party on a Saturday anyway. So we just moved the festivities to Saturday. We had a bunch of friends over and a
Mhm.
bunch of like family, friends, and family. And Shannon wanted to do a surprise. And so we
Did
did
you
a
get her a
surprise.
car? Did you surprise her with a
Well,
car?
no, I don't like this either, but Shannon wants to do it, and so be it. Sometimes that's how it goes. But I come from we've talked about this. I didn't have a whole lot of money growing up, so
Yeah.
I worked from the time I was 13, and I saved from the minute I was 13 until I was 16, and I bought my own car. And I was more of the mindset like we're more financially well off than my parents were. We'll help Shay with a car, but I'm not giving her a car or buying her a car. But I think Shannon wants a new car, and so she's like, "She can just have my old one." And so she's getting Shannon's old car.
Oh, was that the big surprise?
No, she's known this for a while. This has always
Oh,
been a
okay.
plan.
What
The
was
the
the big
surprise
surprise?
was the surprise was a surprise party. She didn't know we were having a party. She
Oh.
didn't know we were having a party. And so all these people came over to our house, and she opened the door, and she had been out with some friends who were in on the whole thing, and she opened the door and everybody said surprise. She was genuinely surprised. I didn't tell you this though. On last week we were going to a concert, And
Mhm.
I have a buddy who lives in Texas, and he's from Colorado, so sometimes he comes and he stays with us. Well, he was at our house last week, and he was leaving because Shannon's mom was coming to stay with us, and so he told um everybody, he told the kids, "Hey, I'll see you again before I leave." And we were having a conversation about that in the car on our way to a concert. And I was like, "Of
Mhm.
course he'll see us when before he leaves, because he'll be at Shay's party on Saturday." And Shay was sitting right there next to me, and Shannon gave me the look of death, and I'm trying to like dig my way out of it. I was like, "Oh, weren't we gonna go
Do
to
you
like a
think she
dinner?"
knew?
I thought she knew that we were having a dinner or something, and so I was trying to dig and dig and dig, and
Shawn, you had
yeah.
one job, and that was to just shut up, and you couldn't do
The
it.
good news, the good news is, the reason I bring that up is because the good news is she seemed genuinely surprised as she opened the door, and everybody was like, "Surprise," and it was cool.
No, you ruined it for her. She's probably always gonna remember, "Yeah, we were sitting in a v." Kind of the same thing happened with when Ryan proposed. We went up into the mountains, and, we took like this tour of this old church, and it's this beautiful small town in Colorado, and then this old church. Not really my thing to walk around a cold old church, but okay, so we did. And what's funny is we were with another couple, our friends, and the woman says, "Okay, that will be $20 a person." And I had kind of thought in my head, maybe he's going to propose to me, like maybe he's going to propose. $20 a person. So then I'm like, I'm the only one with cash, so I'm paying, and I'm like, am I paying am I like paying for my own proposal? And so I paid the lady, and we went in, and sure enough, on the stage he proposed, and it was very beautiful. But I shit you not, the woman did not reimburse me my $80. And so I told Ryan, I'm like, was that part of the plan? And he's like, that is the weirdest thing, because it was all set up, we took care of everything. And then this bitch asked for $20 a person, and I paid it. So I kind of paid for my own wedding proposal. It's kind of sad.
That is
But
true.
I bring that up because as we were walking to the venue to look at the haunted church, whatever it was, I saw my sister's car like parked
Oh, yeah,
randomly.
that
And I was like, hmm. And then I was really like, yeah, he's definitely gonna propose. And then she asked me for $20 a person, and I thought maybe my sister's just up here the same weekend we're up
yeah,
here.
right.
I don't know. It's so dumb. You know what? I was thinking about it on my 40th birthday. I had a big birthday party, and now I think I'm just done with those. It's so exciting when you're 16, there's magic because you're getting a car. When you're 21, there's magic because you can go out. When you're 18, you're officially an adult. I mean, there's so many really fun ones. And then you get to like 42, and there's nothing for 42.
I mean,
So,
50 maybe, like,
yeah.
you almost have to have a party, like, you're not proud of the fact that you're 50, probably. I don't know that anybody, like, gets excited and they're like, "50, I made it, and I love it. I'm so excited to be 50," but you do have to celebrate it, like, it's a milestone, so you celebrate it.
I know, but I just think parties just always stress me out. We used to be big party throwers, and we threw parties for adults and kids and families. We were always inviting people over for different things. And now I'm just like, it stresses me out. It's expensive. And by the end, you're so tired, and your house is destroyed. And so we quit
My
having
house may never
parties.
recover. My house may never recover from this party on Saturday, because, to her credit, Shannon does such a good job. She just loves, like, birthdays are a big deal to her, and to
Yeah.
me they're just not, but luckily they are to her, and so she makes the kids very special every year. It doesn't matter if it's 16 or if it's 3. She decorates the whole house, and she tapes up streamers and balloons, and of course, with this one being Shay's 16th and all these people coming over, she did this like tenfold. And so I
Yeah.
will forever be cleaning up balloons and streamers and
And glitter, was there
lights.
glitter?
And there was glitter in some of the balloons that she popped today, and so glitter was going
It
everywhere.
was like, "No!"
It's fine. I've learned to face the fact that it was like pink and gold themed, that there's going to just be pink and gold shit around my house for the next couple of months. I'll slowly try to grab it as I go.
We actually went to a birthday party over the weekend for one of Murphy's friends. And, she's 6, and this little boy was turning 7. And I'm like, well, we got to leave early so we can go get a gift, like at Walmart, and pick up a gift for the kid. And in the invite, Ryan's like, no, no. In the invite, it says, no gifts. Your presence is enough, and you can make a donation to St. Jude.
A
And
7-year-old?
so I'm like, what? And I said, first of all, that's like insanely nice. And wow, way to teach your kid. I mean, that's amazing. But then I told Ryan, I'm like, do you think the kid's like, the fuck, dude?
Yeah,
Like, I want some
probably.
presents, man. It's my birthday party. I go to other people's birthday and they get presents. And so does that make me a bad person? Because when I said that, Ryan looked like I was the worst person in the world. He's like, they're giving it to St. Jude. And I said, I know, I'm not saying that. I think that's a wonderful thing. And I think if you can, you should. But I'm like, maybe the kid wants like a toy. And so I got vetoed. I said, let's
I
just
would
get him
feel
something. And he's like, no, that
yeah,
it
you
says
can't no,
no.
you can't. You can't get him something if it says no, but I would feel the same way as you in the sense that
Yeah.
I would be like, "Man, that does kinda suck," but, dude, the more I
Yeah.
think about it also, and you've been through this many times, like, they have everything, and
Yeah.
so, what are you gonna spend on a kid that you kind of know on a birthday gift? Probably 25, $30 is usually what we would spend if we're going to, like, one of Boone's friends' birthdays. We're
Yeah.
not getting him anything for 25 or $30 that ain't gonna end up at the bottom of a toy box within a week.
It's so true. And you know what? When Sophie was little, like the difference between first child and last is shocking because with her, I had gift bags at the birthday. Gift bags are such a scam because you go and you put little balls in, some stickers, a little bit of candy. You're out $50 for these bags. And I don't know how many gift bags are in the back of my car that, spilled, and there's a slinky and there's a little baggie and there's a gum wrapper. And I mean, like, there's so many things that parents we do. And I think, my parents had it figured out. We got a Dairy Queen cake and we had like one friend over and that was it. It was like happy whatever birthday it is. We don't give a shit if it's your golden birthday, it's your
Right.
16th birthday, enjoy your Dairy Queen cake. And I did.
Well, of course you did because you are addicted to Dairy Queen cake. I was never a cake
Mm.
guy because I don't like frosting, and so it was always Eileen's cookies for me every time. I was the Eileen's cookies kid. That if you came to my birthday party, you got Eileen's cookies, and some kids liked it, and some kids were like, "Where the hell's the cake?"
Okay, so speaking of feeling like insanely old, I know I talked about it last week, but my niece got married and I felt old, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I have always sat at the young, cool table. That was just where I belonged. And all of a sudden, I'm sitting at a table, and I don't think it's the young, cool kids anymore. And this wedding had a seating chart that was like, it was a big deal. It was one of those things where it was like, is this your table? You got to be at your own table. And I thought, okay. And so I sat at the table. But here's how I know I feel old. This was like a family event. My niece is getting married, and I think I knew a, a quarter of the people that were there. The rest of the people, I don't even know who the hell these kids are. And they dance weird, they dress like idiots. I don't even get
Even at a
it.
formal wedding, what did they wear?
I don't know. It's not even about wearing. It is a little bit, but it's also about like just the attitude of kids. And then they call you ma'am while they're at the bar taking shots. And you're just like, damn, I am the ma'am now. I don't know why I have been on the struggle bus with that. Anytime someone's like, thank you, ma'am, I'm like, you son of a bitch. It
There's this
upsets
one
me.
there's this one kid. So Shannon invited a couple of Shay's friends over to come help decorate before she came home for the surprise. And there's one boy who
Is this the boy that she told me about? Never mind.
I don't know. So it's a weird dynamic. Shay and I are pretty close, but she does not talk to me about boys, and she won't. And Shannon's told me before, she's like, it's just weird. She doesn't want to talk to you about boys. Like, I guess some girls just don't want to tell their dads
I
about
never
boys.
wanted to tell my dad about
Yeah,
boys.
maybe that's it. So anyway, there's multiple boys that are like Shay's a good-looking young girl, and so there's multiple boys that are interested, and I think Shay just like is kind of friendly with them all and like gives them all a chance to hang around. I don't think there's an official boy, but there's one boy that's hung around more than the rest. His name is
Okay.
Georgie, and let me say this about Georgie. Georgie is a cool glass of water. I mean, he's a good looking kid. He just graduated, so he's 2 years older than Shay. He's 18 and he just graduated, and he's super dark skinned, and he's got like good curly hair. He looks like a little like young male
Enrique
model.
Iglesias.
Kind of, yeah. Like
And
good looking kid.
it's actually a tall drink of water,
Tall
not a
drink of water.
cold drink of
Cool.
water.
I couldn't remember. I was struggling with it.
So
Thanks for
your
the help.
daughter's possible
Well,
love interest is a cold drink of water and looks very handsome with a lot of hair.
yeah, and anyway, so he comes over to help decorate, and I got the story later. I'll tell you now, but he supposedly is like really trying to court Shay right now, is what I'm hearing. And so, but he was trying to court me, and I've never been courted by one of the boys before. And so he's over, and he keeps coming up to me and calling me sir. Can I help you with that? Sir, can I
Yeah.
help you with that? And at
Which
one
is
point,
great.
it kind of got annoying after a while. Like in my mind, I had a vision of what needed to be done for this party, and I didn't have a vision of this kid who's calling me sir and annoyingly handsome. That is after my 16-year-old daughter following me around asking me. So at one point, I was kind of annoyed, and I wanted to be like, "Bug off, kid. Go somewhere else. I don't need you. I didn't invite you over here to help me decorate anyways.
Oh,
My wife did. So
see,
go ask her if she needs help. Leave me alone." And so then Shannon yells, and she's like, "Hey, I need ice. The party starts in 45 minutes. Go get ice for the coolers to put
you're like,
the soda on."
perfect. I'm
And I was
sending the
like, "All right,
boy.
I'll go." And he's like, "I'm coming with." And so I
Ooh.
called Quentin. I was like, "Hey, Quinn, you're coming with me too, because I don't want to be stuck with this kid. I don't know what he's going to ask me. I don't know what he's going to tell me. And I don't want him to be alone where he feels comfortable telling me. So come with me." So Quentin came, and I was just very hopeful that this kid didn't like ask me, can I be the boyfriend of your daughter? Because I don't know what I would have said. I probably have said, "Get the fuck out of my truck. Walk
You
from the
wouldn't
gas
have.
station."
No, you wouldn't have, Max Powers. Cut it out. You would have been like, well, that's a very nice thing of you to say. And then you would have died inside. It is really weird when your kids start like seriously dating people. Sophie has her boyfriend, Matt, great kid. He's got his head on his shoulders, just a real sweet kid. And we just love him. But, it is like really weird all this because I remember going to like a boyfriend's house and having to like be nice to the parents and just being like, yes, how are you? You know, it was almost like exhausting to pretend to not be a hoe in front of the parents, you know? Like, thinking about the night before, then you're sitting around for
Oh
Sunday
God.
dinner. Listen, Shawn, I'm just being honest. No, but what I'm saying is like now all of a sudden I'm like the clueless parent, you know? It's weird. And you are entering this and it's going to go so fast.
I didn't know how to handle myself, and I didn't get myself into the situation. Shannon didn't even warn me that this guy was coming over, and then all of a sudden he's in my back pocket the whole afternoon, and so I wasn't mentally prepared. I feel like if I known that this kid was going to come over and he's kind of clingy and he's gonna like try to court me, I could have been better prepared, but I wasn't prepared, and so I don't know. Hopefully, I didn't come across as a complete dick to him. One thing that I will say is there was cornhole in the backyard, and I'm not a
Mhm.
very good cornhole player. But this
Yeah.
kid asked me to play because we got everything set up, and so now we're just waiting
Did
for
he
Shay to
say,
come.
"Dad,
And
have a
so,
catch"?
no, he's like, "You want to play?" And so I was like, "All right." And in my head, I was like, "I got to show this little fucker." And so again, I'm not good at cornhole, dude. I couldn't miss. I was so good at cornhole. He was like, "You should be a pro. You're so good. I don't know. You're great." And I was like, "Yeah, don't
Yeah,
don't mess with me,
dummy.
bro. Don't
Stay
mess
away
with
from
me."
my daughter.
Yeah, you should see how well I shoot a gun.
Which is actually very different than playing cornhole, but it's funny that you made that correlation. Well, it's going to be different now because she's going to be driving, and that means that she's going to be able to go and visit this boy whenever she wants to go visit him.
That's true. And if it's not this boy, there'll be another boy. This boy told me when we were getting ice that he's moving to Leadville, which is quite a ways away to go to college. And so I feel like I don't know how this one would work out anyways. And so Shay's still got 2 years of high school, and this
Yeah.
guy's moving away. So I think that he's the least of my concerns. But yes, boys are in the picture now is basically what it comes down to.
And it's going to be really only painful because I think when the boys then end up dating girls, it's a different dynamic. This is where I see Shannon losing her shit losing it
Yeah.
because those are her baby boys, and and it's the same with a daddy's girl. It's the same thing.
It's true. Yeah. So on Sunday, her actual birthday, there was the concert, and
Yeah.
so I wanted to do something, and so Shannon's like, "You should bring her out on stage when you're introducing one of the bands." And
Yeah.
so I was able to do it. So I bring her with me, and as she's just like following me around backstage, she was dressed. She's 16, but the kid's dress, it was hot, and so she was wearing like a romper thing, and the shorts are pretty short, and she looks older than 16, and like all the worker people that set up the
We're like,
lights and
ow,
shit that are all sweat, yeah, they're like, happy birthday, and they're like,
ow.
it's clear. I know what flirting looks like from a dude, and they're like these 35-year-old
Sean's seen
dudes.
it many times.
Yeah, that's true. And it was weird. I wanted to kick them all.
What do you think is like the weirdest part? What is the biggest realization when you are a parent? The weirdest thing? Is it like knowing that your kids are going to be with somebody and they're going to sleep with them? That freaks me out. Ryan and I were just talking about the fact that like if the next time we go on a vacation, Sophie's at an age where wouldn't we get like her and her boyfriend a room because she's going to be 20.
Right.
So now we're in that place where we're like, do we? And then you know what they're going to do, and we're paying the bill. It's
Yeah, that's
just a
tough.
really trippy thing.
I'm bad about that stuff. You know what I do is I ignore it. And then I ignore it too
No.
long. Well, I ignore it too long and then it slaps me in the face like this thing this weekend. Just ignore. Like, she's not into boys. There's no way. There's no boys. If she's hanging out with boys, they're just friends. They're just part of the friends group. And
Yeah.
then Georgie comes over and he's like trying to court me. And so I put it off too long. And so I need to start like facing some realities, I think. But it's hard for me to do. And I look back on my childhood. I can't believe that this happened. I think I've talked about this before, but Shannon's parents were divorced, right? And we were high school sweethearts. She's a year younger than me. So I graduated from high school. She still had 1 year to go. And her mom decided that she was going to move back to Arkansas, where the rest of her family is. So that left Shannon in a predicament. She didn't have any other family in Colorado. And we were pretty serious at the time. And so she either had to go with her mom, her only family that lived in Colorado, or she could ask me if she could stay.
Like
And
live with
so,
your family?
yeah, so I went to my parents and I cannot believe looking back that they said yes. But I went to them and I was like, hey, Shannon's mom's leaving. Can she live with us to finish out school? And they were like, sure. And it wasn't like she can
Whoa.
stay upstairs and you can stay in your room in the basement. Nope, they just let her. We just moved
Stay
into
in
it.
your room?
We moved in with each other in my room. And the want to know the most embarrassing part, she'll get mad at me for saying this. And if my dad ever listens to you, but there was one night where I don't know why, but things were getting crazy. And it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, and cell phones were just starting to become a thing. And it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, this is a 3-story house, right? So there's an upstairs, a main floor, and a basement. I'm in the
Downstairs, yeah.
basement. My parents are all the way on the upstairs. So there's a
See?
whole floor
Okay.
in between us. I thought we were pretty safe. I don't know why things got so crazy that night, but 3 o'clock in the morning, and all of a sudden my phone starts ringing. I look at it, and it's my dad.
No.
It's my dad. And what else could he want other than to tell me to shut up? I couldn't look at him in the
He's like,
eyes for about,
son, she's
well,
faking. Go to bed.
I think I just started looking him in the eyes again about a year ago.
When the baby was crowning. Yeah,
I do
that's
remember my dad
funny.
was also, this is where I kind of get some of it too, because my dad, without a doubt, was an ignorer. He was ignorer of anything that I was doing that was a little bit hellion. He just
Mhm.
didn't, he pretended it didn't exist. He knew in his heart that it was happening, but he pretended it didn't exist. So we never really had the birds and the bees talk. We never, like, and none of
Yeah.
that stuff ever really came up. And my dad was, he was kind of a single dad. We had my stepmom, but he was the guy. And so we just never talked about that kind of stuff. But I do remember when she moved in, and it was probably 2 or 3 months into it. We were in the kitchen one day and I was making a dang quesadilla or something like that, and
You
like
got
least
all
expecting
horny.
time, he's like, hey,
Oh, your dad. Okay, sorry.
he's like, I'm not going to become a grandpa anytime soon, am I? That's how he brought it
Ooh,
up, and I was like,
yeah.
no, I don't think so. And he's like, well, just make sure you're being safe. And that was about the extent of our birds and bees talk. But that 14-second conversation was the most uncomfortable thing in my life.
I know. I've had to have that talk too with Cooper. This is what also shocks me is like, well, wait a second. So you told your dad no, and then you did get her pregnant, right?
Yeah, it wasn't long after that. I mean, she was
You
nine.
liar!
Well, she was 19, so at that point she was probably 17. So I mean, 2 years from the conversation, I feel like I did pretty good.
I held off, Dad. So was he cool when you were like, "We're pregnant"? How'd that go
No,
down?
oh, it was bad.